YouTube. Gonna do a quick review on my Wolverine 1000-mile Whitepine boots. Got them a little polished up, cleaned up just a little bit. I've had them for about 2.5 years now, and the reason I ended up coming down here to polish them up a little bit was because I was a little upset to find that they have developed little hairline cracks right back here in the leather above the heel counter. And it's on both sides on the left boot and on one side on the right boot. So I decided to go ahead and oil them, and I oil them about every 6 months or so anyway, and take pretty good care of them since they've got leather on the bottom a little bit anyway. Down here, I don't wear them when it's going to rain, but I take pretty good care of them, and I was not very happy to see that they've got that hairline crack. Overall though, they've been really good boots. I've had new heels put on them, wore through the old heels in about maybe 18 months or so, maybe 2 years. But that's with relatively light wear. I'd say I average maybe 2 or 3 days a week. And I'm not really pounding a lot of pavement, so not a whole lot of wear. I'd say if you were going to wear these every day and actually be out walking around quite a bit, you'd probably be looking at replacing that heel at least every 6 months. But this part has held up incredibly well. It's still got, you can probably see there, a lot of the original tread on it. And so it's held up really well, and it has surprisingly good traction. The heel did not so much. Once it got slick, it was just slick. So that was why I asked him to put this lug on there, and it's worked out really well. So as far as the sizing goes, I've actually got some Dr. Scholl's Active Series insoles in mine, because I didn't think they had enough arch support. I bought a size 9. I usually wear a size 10 in a sneaker. Went to the store, tried them on, bought a size 9, and they fit great, but I wore them to work, and at the end of the day, came home, took them off, and I could tell that they did not have enough arch support. So they were a little lacking in cushioning. It's just got a little bit of cork in there under the leather, I think. So I took them back, exchanged them for a 9.5, and threw these Dr. Scholl's Active Series in them, which adds a considerable amount of cushion and actually gives it really good arch support. They've got a little bit of arch support, so the little bit that's added with the insole there, actually, the combination makes it really good arch support at this point. But if you like the arch support that they come with, I would go a full size down from whatever your sneaker is, and if that should fit perfectly. If you're planning on putting an insole in for some cushion or extra arch support, go a half size down from your sneaker, and that should fit pretty well. If I wear them, 4 or 5 days in a row, I might start to get a hot spot here or there, because the insole does tighten things up a little bit, but not too bad. It's a pretty roomy foot box. Up here, the toe box is very roomy. It's got a lot of height on it, so even with that insole in there, they are pretty comfortable as far as the height goes. But overall, they've been good boots. I got them on sale for $180, which was a heck of a deal. So by the time I spent another $20 on the insoles and paid the tax, I was sitting at $220. But they've been good boots, and I will be amazed if I don't have them for another 10 years at least. The leather is very soft, almost to a fault. If you can see right here, I'm not sure what happened there. I was at work one day, I looked down, and there was just a chunk of leather hanging. So I put mink oil on the inside, put mink oil on the little flap, and closed it up. And now whenever I oil them every 6 months or so, I just pop that out, throw some more oil in it, smooth it back over, and I don't have any problems with it, but I was very upset to see that. I don't recall, banging my toe on anything, and it was just hanging there, so that was a disappointment. The laces have held up really well. These are the original laces, and they don't have that waxy sheen anymore. That wore off after just a couple of months, but aside from that, they're excellent laces. So overall, really good boots. I know you can't get the Whitepines anymore, but these are just essentially the 1000 Mile with just a little different sole and some canvas here instead of leather. So, I think these are a pretty good representation of what you're going to expect to get from the regular leather 1000 Mile. And I think they've got a version now that comes with a lug Vibram sole, which is actually what I would recommend, just because those leather soles are so slick. I don't particularly care for them, even in dry weather. I think they're slick on concrete or pavement, either one. So, I think you probably can't go wrong with these. If you're buying them, for some kind of fashion boot that you want to wear for a year or two, I wouldn't recommend it. $300, $400 is a lot of money to spend to get a year or two out of a pair of boots, but I wear all of my boots until they just can't be worn anymore. I've still got a pair of Doc Martens that I bought when I was 16 and I'm 30 now, so I wear them as long as I can. I really like boots, and I get as much out of them as I can. I oil them, I take care of them, I get them resoled when they need it. You got to be careful, because you start wearing into that heel and you're going to start biting into that stacked leather. And that can be replaced, but what comes with it is pretty nice. And that's another thing that you need to keep in mind to oil regularly, is that stacked leather, because that'll dry out just like the upper will. So, overall, they've been good boots, and I expect to have them for many more years to come. If you have any questions or anything about them, let me know, and hope this was helpful.